Hello and welcome back to another episode of 5 Minute First Impressions. You might notice that we have this snazzy new landing page. I'm going to call that a landing page. Essentially what it lets me do is to type in the name of the website we're reviewing, and then when I submit that form, it will load the website for us, so we can see how the website loads for the first time. So here we go with Marcturpin.ca. So first things first, this is clearly somebody that's quite new to web development. So congratulations, Mark, you've made a website, it's up there, and you're at the start of a very long journey. So let's kind of see what we can get out of this. Okay, so the first thing that came to me is this big red banner at the start. That's where my attention is drawn straight away. The big thick font is kind of hard to read. It's very hard to see the lines in between the letters, if you kind of know what I mean. So one of my pet peeves at the moment in web design is big round corners like this. I think it just looks very dated and it looks kind of childish. Like no sharp edges, kind of. What I would do is, this seems like something that I would have built a couple of years ago without having, in the process of learning web development. Not to big myself up or anything, but I would say for you, as somebody that I'm assuming is quite new to web development, you should take an example of a website. So pick one that you think is really good, and then try and emulate that. So simple is best. It's very the less features you try and add to a website, the less there is to go wrong. And I think you're going in the right direction in this website. It's very simple at the start, but I think you need to take a couple examples and work off them. So the column width here, your banner is a lot wider than your actual content column width, and that's kind of jarring. It just looks like it doesn't fit. It looks like your menu at the top here is a separate kind of section, if you know what I mean, or it's like it doesn't marry well to your content section. Your background is like textured backgrounds is a dated technique. I would say the one you've picked is actually quite subtle and it works quite well in terms of creating a natural looking background, but it does look somewhat dated just because of the fact that it's a textured background. So your red and your color scheme, let's go, is the next thing that's kind of jumping out at me here. Your red is actually a nice red, and your hovers are good. I think just the fact that it's so there's no or there's a very thin black border there actually. It just seems like it's painted on. It doesn't look like it fits naturally. But that could also just because you've got a big white square here, big red bar there. HTML and CSS. So I would start by changing your fonts. I think I tried not to look at I tried not to look at the thread on Reddit, but I did briefly see that somebody mentioned fonts. So I would take a good look at the fonts, take a good look at an example website and the way they do their fonts there. The borders around the content is a little bit strange. I would get rid of that border. White on dark grey is very contrasting. I think you want to go a lot less contrasting in that sense. In what sense, Aidan? What are you talking about? HTML and CSS. This is a template of a website using HTML and CSS exclusively. I'm learning the ropes of web development through a course on Udemy. Well, good stuff. Since this is only meant for practice, this website will seem very empty. Once I gain enough knowledge, I will be focusing on making a complete website using the following. Okay, well that's good. At least you know where you're going, and you've got a good let's say map ahead of you. That's a very good thing to go for and to plan out. I don't know if you've heard of Lorem Ipsum, LOREM space IPSUM. It will give you a lot of, if you Google that, you'll get a lot of default text to use. It might be good. Your links down here are kind of nice, even though this doesn't kind of fit with the other ones. Not too sure. So overall, it's a very simple website. There's not much more to say about it. You got a lot of points on Reddit, so keep it up, Mark. Best of luck.